Pasteco, Buiti Guyom, Suma do Buiti Rabangayo. Vou começar do meu. Luma Trevor. Esa es su mother. Buenas noches. Greetings, everyone. Greetings, Marzetta, Jose. I have to reply back to this. Socialism and capitalism. I just put something out there and some people are chiming in. I think I gotta rotate my camera. What about now? Greetings, Owen. Can you hear me now? You could just reply back and let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Jose, you heading to Honduras? We have to have a conversation before you go. There's a lot of things going on over there. Hit me up, inbox me when you're available to talk, so I could tell you the places to avoid. Honduras is a beautiful country, beautiful, but it has some places that you may want to, stay away from. So tonight we're gonna talk about Garifuna media tonight. What's the importance of it? Oh, and I know you have the potential to do some things in Yuruming. We need an outlet over there. We need to know what's going on in Yuruming. Greetings, everyone. So let me play some music while we fill up the um, while people come in. J. King, Buitigoyong. Buitigoyong, Harriet. Good evening. For persons that don't know, I have a particular shirt on. In the Caribbean, it's called shirt pack. In Spanish-speaking Caribbean countries, it's called guayabera. Um, the Cuban community is known to wear it. A lot of dignitaries from the continent and in the Caribbean wear it. I used to have them in like 5 different colors. Then I took them to Honduras, and all I have was this one. Um, but yeah, let me play some music. Luna So, greetings. And I apologize, my machine is kind of slow today. But we're gonna have a conversation with Brother Trevor regarding the importance of media, especially for us Garifuna folks. We have quite an interesting experience in Honduras and in Central America. Khadija Ariola, greetings. Buiti Guyon. Jason McIntosh, greetings. Yes, indeed, Owen. I visited Sandy Bay when I was over there in Yuruming. I visited Greg's. Um, there was another area where I was at. I forget. Buitiguyon, Trevor, either
Eh,
here.
man, magari na mabuiti kunyo man. Na biha musu lusu yaho man. Lugana lame hehin na giga buitu.
Ah, yeah,
Um,
yeah, Luti Heinia. Soon, Bigibu, Luti Behi.
yeah, buiti kunyo hon sungu bay Owen Betis hon waniku yurume. Buiti kunyo Ibidi Paulo Blanco Yeno Yor Mabruiga Garinagu Trevor Palacio ya Mabruiga Garifuna California. Buiti chile ni hon sungu bay balisi na negara wana. Wadimalu na endura na hon sunwani.
So, when we do me about uh, local media, what the need do more, it Garifuna local media.
Yeah.
We don't. There isn't a Garifuna word for media,
Yeah, we would have to
and
talk to Ruben Reyes about that. He would be able to help us out with that. Um,
right.
but you're right.
Yeah, we got to talk to people like we got to update our dictionary. That's the whole thing. We do have a dictionary. Yeah. We have a dictionary going back to the 1675, Trevor.
Right.
1665. The father of Raymond Breton. I have that dictionary. I'm gonna have to send you a copy of it. We gotta consistently update that dictionary. That's like another endeavor that somebody has to take on um, in the community.
Right.
You know, but today's conversation it's very important. Media. Why do we need media? That's how we use the way media. Um, I'm gonna go to the list that you shared. We have media.
Right. If
We
we could,
do have media.
yeah, if we could go into the importance of why, if we could, why we need that media, and then we could share that list. Lisa Chamilio Abaisini, Estrella Preciosa Abaisini. If we could go into that conversation, starting by introducing who we are as Mabriga Garinagu. And why we exist. The conversation that Miriam Miranda had with us when she was in New York a couple of years ago about the necessity of forming a media system.
Yes, this is Pablo from New York. Mabruiga Garinagu Garinagu. We created this platform. I have to say we because we're a community. We created this platform because we are in a state in our experience as Garifuna people, we are under constant attack. We're a very vulnerable community in Central America, in America. I mean, there's so many things to unpack about us, so many things to talk about. A lot of issues we that affect us, but we don't have an outlet to talk about these issues, and that's why I created Mabruiga Garinagu.
Right. And as Miriam Miranda says, the reason La razón que queremos formar una media garífuna y la importancia es, como dice Pablo, es que tenemos cosas que están pasando en nuestra comunidad en Honduras, Belice, Nicaragua, San Vicente, aquí en los Estados Unidos, y necesitamos poder comunicar de una vez, you know. Es la razón que necesitamos la media. That's just one aspect of it. We need the media to be able to communicate, but in regards to the reestablishing of the Garifuna Nation, Pablo, uh, we need to be able to communicate with each other to know what's going on in each part of the Garifuna diaspora if we're going to successfully reestablish the Garifuna Nation.
Yes, indeed. We need to be in constant contact. We must have factual, referenced, and data checked information to circulate between all the media, so that all of us can be on the same page. This is traditionally done through newspapers, but we have so many different communities,
Right.
Garifuna communities throughout the world. I mean, we have a community in Italy and Spain. We have a community, small community in London. You know, and the rest of the communities in the Caribbean, like in St. Vincent and Nicaragua, Guatemala, Honduras, Belize. You know, we have to get a bit more creative in how we disseminate information about ourselves.
Right.
This is mainly going for what's going on in Honduras. I mean, because Honduras is the case study for the rest of the Garifuna communities, the bigger ones at least.
Right. Well, Honduras, I would say, when we say case study, um, the Garifuna people, the history of Garifuna people has always been filled with trials and tribulations. As of 221 years ago, since we were exiled from St. Vincent, it's been one trial and tribulation after another. Now, in places like Belize, in places like Guatemala, in places like the United States, things are a lot more peaceful than they are in places like Nicaragua, because there's like an internal war going on in Managua. Of course, it's far from the Garifuna community, and this is why Mabruiga exists and all of the other media outlets. We're informing you as to what's going on in Managua, Nicaragua, right, where there is current unrest right now. And in places like Honduras, where the current government was actually set there by a coup d'etat, So places like Honduras and Nicaragua, it's important that our people know that things are full of trials and tribulations. People are in position of dying in places like that.
Let me add this in regards to Honduras. Did you know that between 2014 and 2018, 20,000 youth have been executed by the state police?
Okay,
in
I
Honduras.
Didn't know that. I didn't know that. Okay.
So when you talk about human rights,
tienes que repetir eso en español, Pablo.
Entre los años 2014 y 2018, la juventud en Honduras, 20,000 personas de edad de 13 hasta 25, 20,000 lo han asesinado en Honduras.
Right. So
when you look at these numbers are very sick. 20,000, that's a lot of people.
That's
20,000.
Right. Right. And quite a few of those have to be Garifuna.
Of course.
Most Garifuna will lead down numero dia bien vivo.
Gibete ang Garifuna yi.
Yeah.
Gibete ang Garifuna yi. Pero kabasi wadaga laige hafono chumagu in Honduras.
Right.
Like, we don't have any political influence or power in Honduras.
No,
I mean, we do have some Negroes in political positions.
Yeah.
And I say Negroes with a K.
Yeah. No, but Chile get it down here. Pero la Chile down here. The time just hasn't arrived, but it's coming. You know, that's why last week our conversation was about the type of education that Garifuna youth should go into. And, you know, we
Right.
didn't go too much into politics. We didn't go too much into public service. But those are the types of industries that we want Garifuna youth to get involved in. Those are the types of degrees you want to get so that you could be involved in maybe the city, your local state, you know, where you're involved working there and you learn something that you could bring back into the Garifuna community and back to teachers. We need more of those. But again, the discussion that we're having today is media, why it's important to have media, and why it's important to, let's name a few of them. Starting right here in the United States, Pablo, let's name a couple of the media outlets that we currently have, starting the U.S.
In the U.S., we have, of course, Mabruiga Garinagu. We have Gary Vision. Um, those are the two that have been consistent.
Right,
Mabruiga Garinagu and Gary Vision.
right.
That
And
have constantly had the month or had the weekly talks and so forth. Other than those two, I don't see any other media outlet
right.
that try to
Hey,
inform
Pablo,
the community.
do you see the phenomenal work that they're doing at Gary Vision?
I've checked them. I've checked Gary Vision. I mean,
And
shouts out to them brothers, man. I mean,
you
we
see the
need
graphics
that
now?
so badly. We need the constant conversation
Yeah,
coming from the Belizean perspective.
yeah.
It's just neat. There's so many things going on there
No, no,
in
but
Belize. I do know that in Barranco there's a huge oil reserve in Barranco.
mhm.
I've been following that story. There's a huge oil reserve in Barranco. I believe Chevron has been, doing studies there.
No,
And there's this issue between us and our land,
right.
and fighting with the Maya over it, and it seems like the Maya has us beat in Belize in terms of land titles and being proactive about claiming
Right.
their land.
Yeah, yeah. What they did was the Mayas actually demarcated their territory, I think, back in 2015. And Garifuna people have the opportunity, and if anyone want more information on that locally, there's a gentleman by the name of Joseph Guerrero that has a lot of information pertaining to what's going on with the politics there in Belize. Make sure you follow up on anything that you hear from anyone. That includes Mabruiga Garinagu. And and what's going on is we had the same opportunity in 2015 to demarcate our land as Garifuna people, but we did not take advantage of that opportunity. Now, the story as to why is a long one, but we were invited to sit at the council discussion, the same council discussion that the Maya were a part of, to demarcate the Garifuna territories. And what I
Okay.
was told was that Garifuna leadership did not show up to the meetings, and because they did not show up to the meetings, we did not take advantage of demarcating our land. And yeah, the Mayas have an upper hand to a certain degree on certain parts of even our territory in Belize.
Well, that's their land. I mean, we came into the territory in 1802.
No,
You
well,
have
no, no,
to.
no, but no, true. But the thing about that is, you're right. They're the ones indigenous to the land, right? But we're indigenous to the land simply because before Belize became the
Right.
power structure that it is, just like Honduras before it became a republic. You know, we, that's when we should have taken advantage of, the grandfather and clause that we had as Garifuna people to demarcate our land. But yes, the Mayans are indigenous, but we are also property owners. And there's places near a place called the Sarstoon River where I believe it's connected to Guatemala and Belize. And there's a little issue right there, for an instance. And the Mayas are winning because, again, they're more organized. The leadership, they operate as a council. Okay. And I bring up right now the International Garifuna Council that we're in the process of making. The Mayas have a council that reports and is responsible to inform the entire community of Maya people. And we need to be working on a council called the International Garifuna Council to be able to do the exact same thing.
See, that's important. That's important. I mean, like I said, we're a very vulnerable community, very vulnerable, especially in Honduras, being that we don't necessarily have any power and influence per se
Right.
in the system of governments over there. I mean, it's like we're left to the wolves, so to speak.
Well,
So
the thing
in
about that,
in, in
we're independent, Pablo. Of course, we're gonna be left to the wolves. Think about it. We're independent. We're a nation of people. Everything that Garifuna people have done for themselves has done or have accomplished. It's been the Garifuna by the Garifuna. The governments don't necessarily come in there like that. Like the light company, they brought the lights in, but people pay light bills,
right.
right?
But we got to formalize it.
Yeah,
You indicate that we're independent, but we got to formalize that, at the international level,
yeah,
so that we could take advantage of all these UN charters and
right,
ILO. That we have to really formalize it. I mean,
right,
we know that the ILO was used as an argument to protect the lands and Triunfo and Punta Piedra.
right,
But we definitely have to formalize that as a bigger community in Central America.
right.
Are you aware that we're close to 80 communities along the Caribbean coast? And
Yeah,
if you factor in Nicaragua, Belize, Honduras, and Guatemala, I mean
right.
we're about 80 plus communities.
And we own all that land.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's power. Eso es poder. I mean, toda la tierra, 80 comunidades total por la costa Centroamérica. Eso es poder. Tenemos tierra, uh, tenemos gente, tenemos otros recursos naturales en nuestra tierra. Just like you said, oil in Belize, oil in Guatemala.
Punta Piedra has oil as well.
And these are Garifuna territories.
Yeah, see, the thing is, like, we haven't been given an opportunity to develop ourselves. I don't know if that makes sense to you,
It doesn't
Trevor. I
make sense
mean, it's
to me.
so
It doesn't make sense to me
things
because
are so in Honduras things are so difficult, and the Chumago make things hell. The Chumago makes the living experience in Honduras like hell
right,
for us
right.
by putting these barriers. That's why my grandfather had to leave. I mean, my grandfather had land
No, but it's the same thing.
uh,
It's the same.
in Honduras, and through his grandfather, he acquired that land, and there wasn't a way to 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 make a livelihood out of yourself, like to create a livelihood in Honduras.
No, but that's look. If we are an independent people, that's why whoever is listening today, we're speaking to you, Diane, Georgia Palacio, Tibari, Dora, Omar Fernandez, Estrella Preciosa, Owen, Lisa. We're speaking to you. Um, if anything is going to be built for the Garifuna community, it has to be built by Garifuna people. Okay, there is no there's no praying about it, and some won't like what I'm saying. There's no praying about it and waiting for something from the sky to just fix our problem. That's
Excuse
not
me.
going to happen. That's not going to happen. Yes, we gotta have faith. We are a people of faith as Garifuna people. But Pablo, if we're going to have this infrastructure, we need the Lisa Chameleos, we need the Patricia Sanchez, the Pablo Blancos, the Trevor Palacios to be able to work together, to be able to actually support one another, encourage one another. And that's why we're talking about the Garifuna medias today. We're just not talking about Mabruiga. We have Mabruiga, California, and we have Mabruiga, New York. But this
Right.
session is not just about Mabruiga, New York, and California. We're going to talk about Habafu Garinagu in Belize with Robert Mariano every Sunday, 2 p.m. Belize time. We're going to talk about KennyCastillo.com in Honduras. Guaguia Radio Limon Colón, Honduras. Comunicador Garifuna, Honduras. Radio Giriga, Honduras. Santa Fe Giriga Noticias. La Mala de Garifuna. Garifuna Catracha. Bimeti in Belize. Right now, Guatemala, we don't have anyone in Guatemala. We don't have anyone in Belize. We don't have anyone in St. Vincent. Oh, and Baptiste, you're online right now. We need you. We need to know exactly what is going on with our people in St. Vincent. Everyone needs to know so that we can help and be proactive as a community as we reestablish the Garifuna Nation, Pablo.
Yes, and having a network of radio of sharing information, that's very important. Like I alluded to earlier, the newspapers did that task of informing everybody what was going on, and
Right.
there was usually town halls,
Mm-hmm.
but we're so in so many different areas of the world right now that we can't we got to use technology.
Yeah,
We
and
got to use
no more
technology to
excuses.
get
No more
our
excuses.
message
Yeah, no more excuses.
across.
You're right. No more excuses. We have technology. You're right.
Technology is very important. We just gotta learn how to manipulate. We gotta understand how to manipulate, how to build the websites that's gonna house all these media together, so that people could go and listen to the different medias from different countries.
Right.
Because we are depending where you are, which Garifuna community you're in, whether you're in Honduras or Guatemala and Belize. Every country have their own nuance.
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what unites us is our culture. Really, the language. Language is what really unites us. And then the culture is it comes in, but the language unites us as a community and the shared history. Somehow, the older generation, and I have to, bring them into the fold. I don't think they've done an effective job of teaching the history, um, just maintaining the pride
Right.
of what Garifuna is and what it means, and how do you connect that to present times?
We're defining that. I believe we're doing that right now in this very moment. Diana Kulzak Bergang, she's watching. She's from St. Vincent, Pablo. And Diana, we need
Yes,
you. I mean, maybe you could be the Mabruiga representative there in Belize, in St. Vincent. We need your support. Isa Zu, we need your support as well. Anna Vener, we need your support as well. Maybe you could be that representative, or that representative that we're lacking in Guatemala, Nicaragua, and St. Vincent. Now, the history is being reestablished right now, man. I've never seen such a love for the Garifuna community as I do today in 2018, Pablo.
well, the sister, the Kozak sister, that last name, they're from there's an island. Oh man, it's an island close to St. Vincent. And there's a gentleman from that particular island whose last name was Kozak. Um, he was uh, the captain for one of Marcus Garvey's um, ships.
Oh, wow.
So that surname Kozak is Vincentian, and I trace it back to the surname of the gentleman that used to steer one of Marcus Garvey's ships. I believe it was the Black Star Line.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Salute.
There was another name.
Salute to Marcus Garvey, baby. Salute to Marcus Garvey.
But like, I don't think a lot of people understand that we are currently at war for our idiosyncrasy, Trevor. I don't think persons in the community understand the severity of that.
Yeah.
What I mean by idiosyncrasy is just us, our peculiarities as a people. The
Right.
way that we laugh and joke with each other, the way we dance punta, that's our peculiarity
And
as a
using it
community.
and using it as a strength. Using it as a strength to build every individual Garifuna person. Because every individual Garifuna person has the potential to be in a phenomenal place because the wealth of the Garifuna people per ratio, Gari Global Dangriga, Abaisini, the Garifuna population per ratio compared to the wealth that we have could leave every single Garifuna person a millionaire.
I believe that. I
Yeah,
believe
because
that. Just
because
look at the land alone.
it's less than a million of us. It's less than a million of us, and like you said, 80 villages or so in the coast of Central America.
That's what I'm saying. This autonomy, this whole notion of autonomy, which is a real thing for us
Mm-hmm.
in comparison to other communities, you know, is very real. I mean,
Right.
I don't think people understand that.
We don't.
We
We don't.
don't we don't need, if we set ourselves up right, we don't need to immigrate to America
We don't. We
or to
don't.
Europe. Everything we could, our culture, we could heavily monetize that, but it has to be done through our idiosyncrasy,
Exactly.
Trevor.
Exactly.
And this is where the conflict comes,
Right.
because a lot of Garinagu, they just looking at the quick buck and they're
Right.
not thinking about longevity.
Yeah. No. But guess what? Speaking of longevity, I want to. Well, we have 8 people watching us live at the same time. I want to take advantage of this moment and give you some news. There are 2 gentlemen in Honduras, 2 Canadian gentlemen. Now we're talking about the wealth of the Garifuna people. I want you to know that there are people that are benefiting already off of our wealth, and they're jumping the gun. They are trying to beat us to monopolize on what is ours. Randy Jurgensen, Canadian porn king. Randy Jurgensen out of Honduras. He has bought
He's
land
con-
all over Trujillo. He has built hotels. There's even a Hilton hotel out there, all on Garifuna territory. So while you and I are talking about the wealth that we possess as a people, and while we don't understand that we possess this wealth, there are people that are taking advantage and monopolizing on our wealth already. Randy Jurgensen and Patrick and Larry Forsett. Patrick, Google those names up. Patrick and Larry Forsett. Forseth. And Randy Jorgensen. Look those people up. Patrick Forsett was the one who put Sister Madeline David, Abaisini to Madeline David. She is the leader of Guadalupe. She's 30 years old. She's a Garifuna leader. She has been fighting for Garifuna land. And this is not a movie. This is not a story. I'm telling you what's going on with the Garifuna community right now. In 2017, Madeline David was put into prison by Patrick Forsett for fighting for Garifuna territory in Guadalupe, Honduras.
well, see, Trevor, you got to understand. Like I said, it goes back to this political influence that we lack, or political power that we lack in Honduras, in which that would give Patrick Forsyth the authority to do that.
Repeat that?
We lack the political influence and power in Honduras
True.
that allows a Patrick Forsyth to do that.
Right. No, but
You gotta
that's it.
understand, the government is against us in Honduras.
Right.
Pues prima, Ena, tiene que aprender inglés.
No, man. Vos, mañana, Mira lo que es, bueno, logo Patrick Forsett.
No, pero mente, diduete burito ya sugobu ye madume hitu garifuna madume hitu ye
Chumag.
haye no haye aluda solo sun kate sin san lumasa chumog.
Chumag. Okay. So, estamos hablando sobre dos señores ahí que son canadienses. Larry Forsett y su papá y su hijo Patrick, que pusieron a la hermana Marilyn David en preso en Guadalupe, Honduras. Y también hay otro canadiense que se llama Randy Jurgensen, que sigue comprando tierra ahí en la comunidad de Trujillo. Y la razón que estamos hablando sobre eso es que Pablo y yo estamos hablando sobre el poder de nosotros como Garinagu, toda la tierra que tenemos, pero le estoy explicando también que durante que no sabemos el poder de nosotros como Garinagu, hay gente como Patrick, Larry Forsyth y el señor Randy Jurgensen que ya están ganando y comiendo bien de lo que es de Garifuna.
Sí, esta gente viene con capital a Honduras y ellos vienen a comprar todo. Y,
Yeah.
y el problema es que hay cierta gente de nuestro pueblo, en la prima, que ellos le venden a cualquier cosa que ellos quieren, porque nosotros estamos enamorados con gente con ojos azul, pelo blanco,
Right.
eso nos fascina a nosotros, se parece como si esta gente son Dios.
Right.
Y eso es un problema entre nosotros también. Este tema es muy delicado, Trevor, para la gente en Honduras, porque no sabemos cómo ellos viven, en qué estado social ellos están.
Right.
No sabemos esa cosa. Eso es
No,
un
no,
tema muy, muy delicado para la gente en Honduras.
right. No, pero es la razón que estamos aquí ahorita hablando sobre el tema, porque nosotros aquí en los Estados Unidos, saber es poder. Saber es poder. Knowing is power, right? And now that we in the United States know this information, that there is a Patrick and a Larry Forsyth, and that there's a Randy Jurgensen in Honduras that is terrorizing Garifuna communities, Canadian citizens, then if you know of anyone that is Garifuna that lives in Canada, or anyone that is Canadian, or anyone that has political influence, say something. And that's
Well,
what this
the thing is,
information is about.
Trevor, we have to demand it as a community
Right,
or as an organization.
right,
We just haven't created that organization that has the pulse of the people that demands this power. The closest thing we have is Ofranet. But
right.
we have like a litany, we have like so many organizations in the community that don't focus on that. They focus on, various other things.
Right.
But their focus is not autonomy, their focus is not gaining power. I mean, it's just
No,
other focuses.
no, it's because look, it's hard to focus on something you don't know. You know, when you don't know who you are, you don't maximize on your potential, right?
Right.
And once you know something, then you take off with it. You know. And Sandra Miranda from Belize, Abaisini, she's watching with us right now. I want to take advantage of this moment to use you as an example of a leadership type, because she's a leadership type, of a leadership type who is in the business of educating to elevate, informing, keeping the people in the loop so that the people know, right? Because once the people know, the people become empowered. And they feel that sense of empowerment, and they could manifest into whatever potential it may be that they can possibly manifest into. But we got to
Well,
first
see,
know.
well, the thing is, we gotta understand our history. We gotta understand our history intimately.
Right?
Can we honestly say that our leaders do that? or have that intimate relationship with our history?
Mm, in the culture to a certain extent, but history to a certain extent, but not from a structural perspective. And I use the term structure, right? Miriam Herrera, Abba from New Orleans. If we utilize structure and understanding, then we begin to do things with different goals in mind, not just to know, not just to pass upon, but to utilize this information as leverage, right? To strengthen our community on an ongoing basis.
Right, I understand that, but history is supposed to be the framework that we make our decisions as a
True,
community.
true.
It's supposed to be based on our history. Like that's like the basic, building block of the idiosyncrasy. You have to have a very, very firm understanding of your history and where you stand. Like how have different communities treated you in the past? Who has been your friend and who has been your enemy? I mean, I don't feel like we understand the difference between a friend and enemy in the Garifuna community as a community.
It goes back to knowing, man. Ronnie
Yeah,
Castillo,
it's 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 um it takes time. It takes time. I'm glad that we started this conversation because this is gonna get other people talking, Trevor, and
right.
and, and for that,
Can
I
you
think I've done my job.
can you read what Comunicador Garifuna put down on tristemente estos canadienses compraron a autoridades de gobierno y el poder judicial en este país, I believe, but I can't read the whole thing.
Yeah, con la llegada de esta gente se incrementa la violencia ya que con la contracción de mano no calificada no miden qué tipo de personas nos están trayendo a la zona y ese es otro peligro que enfrentamos como comunidad garífuna. So, brother Comunicador Garifuna said that there's a heightened state of violence in Honduras because
Right.
of the people that and I could just imagine, you know,
No,
the Canadians coming and what they bring with them, because this is again, this is a different culture. And these people, they're known for their sexual deviancy. So I could just imagine what's going on in the Garifuna communities in that respect.
well, look, speaking of coming back to the violence, um, the reason there is violence is because some of the Garifuna people don't want to stand idly by. Hay gente Garifuna, hay violencia porque hay gente Garifuna que no se van a dejar. No se quieren dejar que Larry Forsyth y Patrick Forsyth y Patrick Randy Jurgensen haga lo que quiera y no se dejan. So hay violencia por esa razón. También hay violencia porque lo que están haciendo, están usando tácticos de fear tactics. They're utilizing fear tactics to cause people to want to move. And when people retaliate, then they send Randy Jurgensen. I was told that if you want to kill somebody in Honduras, $50 is the starting rate on up. And
I believe that.
a professional is like $500.
500 lempiras.
US.
Okay.
Yeah, $50 up to $500 US will take a life, right? So these Canadian pimps and thugs, corporate thugs, they have the money to actually put fear into the hearts of Garifuna people, where a lot of them are just making real bad decisions.
Mm.
But
But
that's
you know
just
what? From the perspective of the people over there, Trevor, I mean, what are they to do? Um, they don't have any political power or money to buy the political power. So to counter that. So
Us.
it's like we're sitting ducks.
No, no, they're not, man. We're in the United States, bro. You and I are in the United States of America. All we have to do is tomorrow, every person that's on here, reach out to your local Congress people, okay? Because Congress people, a lot of them have affiliations in international happenings, things that are going on, all types of things going on the international level. And these things matter to your Congress people. Talk to them,
Right. It
okay?
it has to be a group effort, Trevor.
It has to. It
It
has
has
to
to
be.
be a community-wide effort. It just
It
can't be
has,
me and you writing.
yeah, no, but look,
you know.
it takes if 4 or 5 of us in New York, 4 or 5 of us in Houston, 4 or 5 of us in Los Angeles, 4 or 5 of us in Chicago went to our Congress people, and one day there's 20 good Eastern people just went to Congress people with a script, and it's specifically talking about what is going on with these Canadian investors.
Right.
Okay, there are Canadian embassies throughout the United States of America. There's one in New York, there's one in Los Angeles, there's one in Houston. Let's go to these Canadian embassies and tell them what's going on in Honduras. That there so there
Again,
our people are not sitting ducks. They're sitting ducks because we are not taking action, not only in the United States, right? But in Belize. There's something that the people in Belize can do. There are Canadian embassies there too. There are Canadian embassies in Guatemala. There are Canadian embassies in Urume, right? Canadian embassies in Honduras. We're not sitting ducks. What we need to do is organize our efforts, think like one community, think like Garifuna people, and establish an international Garifuna council that is going to be responsible, Pablo, that is going to be
mm,
responsible. And this group is currently being led by Joyce Cayetano out of Los Angeles, International Garifuna Council, interim president right now. And we also have the Garifuna Nation that we're working with and partnering with and talking about. So between the Garifuna Nation and the International Garifuna Council, now we have a body that represents Garifuna interests.
right.
That is the solution. Nothing else is the solution, right? Nothing else.
So comunicadores chiming in. Um, La violencia es. I'm gonna read it in Spanish and then I'm gonna translate to English. La violencia es que están criminalizándonos y están sacando fotos de los perfiles de las personas que están al frente de la lucha y los
Okay.
persiguen para meterlos presos o los asesinan.
Okay. So now we know.
Muestra clara los asesinatos de jóvenes estudiantes en diferentes puntos del país, los, escu- los escuadrones de la muerte. So what's going on in Honduras right now is that they're looking into Facebook profiles of leaders, grassroots leaders, and they're sending people out to assassinate them. And this is a reality. This is our reality in Honduras. This
Right.
is going on right now.
Right.
And that's why I put that figure out earlier in the conversation regarding the 20,000 students and youth people that have been assassinated by the Honduran government for just protesting.
Right. Well, there's a solution to that, though. Comunicador, la solución es muy fácil. Tenemos que empezar a tomar fotos de nuestros líderes en Honduras. Lo van a enviar aquí a nosotros en los Estados Unidos y vamos a asegurar que están protegidos abajo de las Naciones Unidas. And it won't be easy. The solution is to take pictures of our leaders, make sure that we put it out to the government of Honduras by going to all of the consulates of Honduras in the United States to let them know that if anything happens to these list of people, you with me, Pablo?
Yeah, I'm listening. I mean, we need to report these people to the human rights organization as well, like Human Rights Watch
Yeah,
and
but we
all
don't have
these
a
different human rights
yeah,
organizations.
but we don't have a means yet of organizing this information, comunicador. Estás hablando de un tema que es muy seria. Tenemos que hablar de este tema. Tenemos que asegurar que Gary Vision, Habafu Garinagu, cada media garífuna sepan de lo que está pasando sobre ese tema y con nuestros líderes y cómo lo están escogiendo. We have to make sure that our leaders, that the people in the community know how our leaders are being targeted in this modern day by their profiles being targeted.
Right, we're being criminalized. Just like we have Baba Clay as an example. He's
Yeah,
being framed for
free
nothing
Baba
that
Clay.
something that he didn't do. And that's something that, you know, people black people throughout the world is going through this right now,
Right,
Trevor.
right.
See, the thing is that we got to understand that the war for our idiosyncrasy is real for us. So we got to circle our wirings, dot our T's, cross our I's, well, cross our T's and dot our I's. I mean, we have to be on code,
Right, right, right.
and we got to look at this thing from a military strategic standpoint as well.
Yes, we do.
That's the way that we got to be in Honduras,
Yep.
because they
Prepared at all
assassinate
times.
the
Prepared.
boys, the two boys over here with close to Sangrelaya 2 years ago, and nobody has been indicted
Yeah. You're talking about
over that.
19-year-old Gerald Palacios and
Yes,
24-year-old Elvis Garcia. I think it was
yes,
backwards, where the military of Honduras just drove by on their shit on their boats and just shot them down.
right,
They just killed them.
right.
They just killed them. And like Pablo says, there has not been any justice to date. And no one is pursuing justice. And the reason no one is pursuing justice is, I'm going to tell you why. If Garif and the people are not pursuing justice, no one is pursuing justice.
But look at the way, I don't know if you keep up with the publications in Honduras, Trevor, but
Mm-hmm.
they have publications that criminalize the activity of black people. I mean, there was a um, something happened in Limon like 4 or 5 years ago in which the caption read "Andaba Garifuna,"
Mm-hmm.
and there's some guy sitting down like looking all types of crazy on a sidewalk, waiting to be taken to like the authorities over there in Trujillo. So the way that they criminalize us in the publications,
Mm-hmm.
that's reminiscent of America, of what they do here to us.
Okay. Hey.
So we got to understand that. I mean, I don't think we understand the severity
Right.
of our fight in Honduras. I
Right.
mean, it's very real for us in Honduras right now.
Right. We need Jerry Sabio to step up. Jerry Sabio, que es el nuevo alcalde um, de donde La Ceiba. Jerry Sabio is the new mayor of La Ceiba, and there are.
But even with him, you know what I think the thing with him is true, Trevor? They put him in power so they could pit us against each other.
Okay, well then we need to find
Because
out.
this is
We need to
this
find
is
out
this
because
is
we need for him to step up. We need for Jerry Sabio to step up and show us that he has the interest of, and I know that it's delicate, because as a politician, you represent all people. You just don't represent your people when you're in office, right? And this was one of the things that Barack Obama had to deal with here in the United States of America, having being black and having to represent a whole people, and at the same time having to represent a nation. So
Trevor.
Jerry,
It's funny that you use that example because Barack Obama sent black people like 50 to 100 years back in this country with his policies, and he did all these policies for Africans. He sent them back like 100 years.
Mhm.
So he didn't do anything for his people.
Nothing.
We got to be clear. We
Yeah,
have to be clear here. So
yeah.
Jerry being and I understand Jerry is a relative of mine. He's a cacho. My grandfather is a cacho. So we're related through bloodlines. But I gotta talk. I gotta speak truth to power. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? I gotta tell the truth.
Truth to power. That's what we're about.
I have to speak truth to power. They put the brother in. He's a relative. They're not doing that to make him look good. They want us to put us against each other.
But we won't.
I mean, this pipeline is by the Canadians because the Canadians they have a lot of investments in countries like South America and Central America to monetize the water, you
Yeah.
know, the the wind. I mean, they have the most mining countries per capita in the world.
Right.
So we got to understand that of what we're dealing with.
Right. Right.
So for us to have a media, we need all these leaders to understand what we're up against, and I don't feel like they understand that,
Right. Let's
and that's my frustration.
sorry to bring it to an end, but we're at the end right now. So if we could bring it back to the conversation of media, Pablo, and then if you could bring us to a close. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run down the list of media outlets again per country, so that you pay attention and tune in, and the importance of it thereafter. So we have Belize with Habaku Garinagu with Robert Mariano every Sunday, 2 p.m. Belize time. In Honduras, we have KennyCastillo.com. We
Right,
have Guaguia Radio Limon Colón. We have, of course, Comunicador Garifuna in Puerto Cortes. We have Santa Fe Guiriga Noticias. We have La Mala ni Garifuna. We have Garifuna Catracha, which is
Catracho.
out, Catracha is out of Houston, Texas. Out of
Right.
Belize, we also have Bimeti. Out of Belize, St. Vincent, we don't have anything going on in St. Vincent. On Belize, come on, baby, step up. Sister Diana, if you could be the one, we would appreciate that. Guatemala, we have no one in Guatemala. No tenemos nadie en Guatemala. So ustedes, si ustedes conocen a alguien en Guatemala que quiere ser parte de Mabruiga, Guatemala, lo invitamos. Tampoco tenemos a alguien en Nicaragua. We also don't have anyone in Nicaragua. If you know anyone in Nicaragua, please bring them on. And right here in the United States of America, tune in on Thursdays. I believe it's at 5 p.m. to Gary Vision Live. Oh my God. I love the graphics. Francois Estrada, Verlaine Orzu, Bill Flores. You guys are doing a phenomenal job at Gary Vision Los Angeles. And we also have here in New York and in California, Mabruiga Garinagu. And these are the media outlets. Son las medias que tenemos en este momento y estamos preguntando que les apoyen, y el hermano Pablo Blanco le va a decir por qué necesitamos las medias, and Pablo is going to give you an explanation as we close as to why we need these media outlets in the Garifuna Nation.
I'm gonna say it in Spanish and then in English. Nosotros necesitamos nuestras medias para proteger nuestra propia idiosincrasia como pueblo. ¿Qué quiere decir cuando yo estoy hablando de idiosincrasia? Es nuestras peculiaridades, como la manera que nosotros hablamos, la manera que bailamos, nosotros, cómo como nosotros nos ponemos juntos, en la
Right.
manera que nosotros hablamos a ambos. Nosotros tenemos nuestras peculiaridades como comunidad. Y la guerra es empezando con nuestra mente, cómo nosotros pensamos de nosotros. Porque mucha gente cree que nosotros somos negros y después deja la parte indígena. Y ellos no saben que nosotros somos indígenas también como comunidad. Y yo creo que eso es importante. Lo que está
Right.
pasando en Honduras es que nosotros estamos perdiendo eso. No estamos haciendo decisiones basadas por nuestra historia. Estamos haciendo decisiones solo por knee-jerk, solo reacciones. No estamos pensando lógicamente con razonamiento sobre la cosa que nos está afectando y cómo nosotros reaccionamos a estas cosas. Y eso es un problema, porque nosotros como comunidad afroindígena o negra o afrohondureña que usted quiere llamarle, nosotros tenemos mucha tierra en Honduras. O sea, que nosotros tenemos lo que quieren la gente, que es tierra. Nosotros no entendemos la importancia de tener tierra, más allá de tierra que está cerca de un río o que está cerca de un mar. Nosotros tenemos tierra cerca de un mar Caribe
Right.
como comunidad y nosotros no entendemos eso.
Right.
Lo que está pasando aquí en Trujillo con Patrick Forsyth y este Carl Jurgensen está criminalizando nosotros, ¿verdad? Lo que pasa en Honduras va a pasar en los otros países centroamericanos. Eso porque necesitamos este medio
Ahorita.
de radio para que nosotros siempre estemos en comunicación con nuestra gente en estos diferentes lugares.
Sí.
Um, Hoy en día la batalla es con nuestra mente, es sobre nuestra idiosincrasia como comunidad. Again, the battle is for our idiosyncrasy as a community, meaning our particular nuances as a community, our peculiarities um, as a Garifuna community. The way that we talk, the way we dance, the way that we approach things. All of us, or the Garifuna people, have a certain approach to different things. And me, as a traditionalist, I like to work around the frame of Ugulendo, the Aura Bunia, Murununi.
Right.
That's the framework that I work. And a lot of Garifuna people work
Right.
under that framework.
Right. And we have Gary
And
Vision. We have Gary Vision live. We have Gary Vision online right now. We also have Mabruiga Garinagu Robert Mariano live with us right now. And again, we want to take this moment and this opportunity as Mabruiga Garinagu to thank Gary Vision for the phenomenal work that you're doing. It is unprecedented work that Verlene and Bill Flores and Francois are doing there. And Robert Mariano, you continuously bring it from Belize live every single week. You guys are doing some great work, and we want to thank you on behalf of Mabruiga Garinagu.
Yes, and indeed we have to thank people like Comunicador Garifuna because Comunicador Garifuna is very mobile, and he's working within a real hostile environment in Honduras. So we got to acknowledge that while we're sitting here at the comfort of our homes, we don't gotta worry about
Right.
anything happening to us. But this brother, he's mobile. He's documenting what Ofranen is doing, and we have to acknowledge that as well. I mean,
And support it.
Yes, we have to understand that we are really a nation across borders. I don't think a lot of Garifuna persons understand that fact. The fact that we have a common language and history, that should unite us. That should be the only thing that unite us.
Agreed.
But your generation and my generation have a tall order and try to unite the older generation with the younger generation, because
Right.
that's we fit sort of in the middle.
Right.
We know enough, or we could use the counsel of the older generation, but they can't really relate to the newer generation, to the younger generation.
But we're closing that gap without a doubt. And the more information we bring, the more history we teach, the more we follow through, the better we communicate, the more we educate to elevate, then we're going to hone in on what it means to be Garifuna and go back to the days of glory, I would say, because I don't know, Pablo, I don't know about you, but I sit back and I imagine sometimes before, because what we know as Garifuna people is 221 years ago we were exiled from St. Vincent. And what we also know is that a decade or so before that, there was tumultuous back and forth wars going on, right? But what I try to think about is before all of the wars, when things were peaceful and Garifuna people were traitors in St. Vincent, right?
Right.
When being Garifuna meant supreme power, obviously, if we owned our own land. Those are the days of glory that we are headed right back to.
Yes, we need to fight for that, Trevor.
Right.
That's a fight.
Right.
For us to be sovereign and autonomous, and be the the leaders and you know, for us to move our community forward, we got to fight for that.
Right.
And the only way to do that is by organizing ourselves.
Yep. Yep. And
And that's
information.
what why this medium, this media medium is very important.
Right.
We have to be constantly in communication. Constantly. I mean, we need like a 24-hour CNN type of thing.
Right. We'll get there. We'll get there. The vision is manifesting as we bring it to a closing. We're taking it one step at a time. Consistency is there. Once again, every Thursday, 5 p.m., Gary Vision comes in live.
Right.
Every Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific time and 10 p.m. Eastern time, we have
Right.
Mabruiga Garinagu, California, and New York. And we want to continue to invite everyone to come back and listen to the information that we disseminate. Make sure that after you hear this information, you share the information because information is not to be kept. Right, Pablo?
That is correct. And I want to make a note. The gentleman from he's from Union Island. He was the one that drove Marcus Garvey, one of Marcus Garvey's teachers. His name is Hugh Nathaniel Mozak. The sister's name from Urume is Kozak.
Okay.
So Mozak and Kozak, you know,
Right.
I don't know. It must be, but that particular name resonated with me. But the brother's name is Mozak, and he was from Union Island, and I believe he drove the YSS Yarmouth
Right. Okay.
uh, um, for Marcus Garvey before you know that ended, and you know through that the Pan Africanist movements, that was a big thing, you know, and we have some people chiming in, and let's what I think the most important thing is, Trevor, that we start the conversation, we initiate this conversation, but because Garinagu people, they got to create their own narrative. We
Right.
can't let other people create the narrative for us. We got to drive our own narrative.
I
We
agree.
got to start, you know, we got to start creating a conversation.
Agreed.
Don't let the people talk about us. You know, we got to create that conversation. You know, and a lot of things that come about that or that drives that is our knowledge of our history.
Right. Agreed. Agreed.
But yeah, so we look forward to having this conversation or continuing the conversation next Sunday at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time with Mabruiga Garinagu in California. This is Pablo Blanco from New York. And please share the video. Um, continue to chime in. Let's continue this conversation. We're really a nation across borders. People that identify with Garifuna, it's beyond the four countries in Central America.
Right. And we're doing National Garifuna Census. Pablo, if I could chime this in real quick.
Yes, good.
We're doing the National Garifuna Census. We're kicking it off in Chicago. Joseph Guerrero Abba Isani, much respect. And Joseph Guerrero is the gentleman who introduced the ILO 169 to me, and he also introduced the UNDRIP document to me, and these documents have changed my life. As a matter of fact, ever since I ran across Joseph, my whole life has changed. Um, but we want everyone to understand that we're coming to a city near you. Because we're counting the Garifuna people. We're doing voter registration, voter education. We're going to be in Chicago November 9th and 10th. If you could get to Chicago November 9th and 10th, it would be a blessing to see you there because your presence is going to propel forward the re-establishment of the Garifuna nation, which is going to improve the lives of our children and our children's children's children, and everything that we do is about them.
See, the thing is that traditionally, the leaders in our community, the older generation, they didn't think about the children. They didn't think about the children at all. They just thought about the here and now,
What do you
and
mean by
that's
that?
one of the and
What
that
do
was
you
one of the reasons. That was one of the reasons that we're in the predicament that we are currently.
Okay.
Um,
In a structural fashion.
right,
Yeah, yeah.
right. There isn't a
Because what they
continue.
thought
There isn't
about,
a
what they always thought about was making sure that we had something to eat, making sure that we had shelter, making sure that we had some clothes on our back. It is
right. Just the
now,
bare necessities.
yeah, it is now that we're just making sure that we add to that, that our children are educated to be elevated, right?
Right,
Right,
right. So they could
right,
work for the nation.
right, right,
Because I had this thing in me that my mother, my grandmother instilled that wherever your accomplishment, you need to give back something to the community.
right, right.
You
Great.
have to give back. I mean, you just can't, like you said, you can't hold the knowledge to yourself. I mean, you got to share. It goes back to our cultural philosophy, and we got to reintroduce that into the community. Because
Agreed.
we do have a lot of selfish, individualistic persons in the community that are not thinking about sharing whatsoever.
True.
So we have to change that narrative, and this symposium in Chicago could be for persons that are um for persons that are serious about seeing change or
Right,
evoking change.
right,
They have to be willing to make these type of sacrifices of going to the Chicago symposium,
right,
going to the Houston symposium. They have to be willing to make these sacrifices, or else what are we doing?
right. And it goes back to, why is this not happening in the community? Why is that not happening in the community? Why is that not? Well, it's not happening because if we don't do it for our people, it's like your household. People, Garifuna people need to begin to look at Garifuna Nation as their household. If you don't pay your light bill in your house, your lights will be cut off. You know what I'm saying? if if you don't send your kids to get educated, then they won't be educated. So you got to make sure that your children go out and they get educated. And if we're going to empower Garif in the nation, it's going to take Garif and the people understanding that sacrifice. So, brother Pablo, we do have to close it out because we're definitely right past the hour
Right.
on our time.
Sí, deme a las personas que no entienden inglés o que están aprendiendo. Yo estoy tratando de hablar a hermano Trevor sobre nosotros, como raza garífuna. Nosotros tenemos que um, reintroducir nuestra filosofía cultural, que es Aura Buni Amurununi. Nosotros no somos nada sin nuestra comunidad, absolutamente nada, no sea si somos alcalde de la Ceiba, si estamos en el Congreso de Honduras, nosotros somos nada sin nuestra comunidad. Y eso es algo que nosotros tenemos que entender
Right.
como pueblo garífuna. Nosotros, por modo de este sistema capitalista, nos
Mhm.
forza a ser individualista.
Right. No, esta de label.
Y eso es contra nuestra filosofía cultural, ser individualista.
Right. Yeah.
Nosotros no somos así como comunidad. Eso no es un conflicto.
Right.
Y eso nosotros lo estamos viendo ahorita, que este conflicto no nos está haciendo nada de bueno. Nosotros siempre estamos en guerra contra nosotros mismos. Y eso tiene que cambiar.
Yeah.
Porque una comunidad desunida como de nosotras somos
No love.
vulnerables a toda clase de cosas
Yeah.
como comunidad.
Right. Dumure ma
Pero
binaro.
ayer subuhi muti luti la wadume ha lida garifuna pero gibeti dumure
No, they go on
lida garifuna sieti lengu lida dume ni aludu na luma
yeah.
gecho mabun sieti gibeti dumure so subuhi muti luti la wadume ha garifuna Gary Vision pero suwanda subuhi muti wafansa ubui sun kate ai luti dame le wadume ani lida garifuna
Yeah. No,
Ladaga dame le wondo ago ke moga gaina go sun kate wulu wo fansa ni lida bagarifra mama lida dume aludu na lida chumag.
but la chulo badali get me we're friend doing in Sungubay. So seremi home Sungubay Mabruiga Yagi California seremi logo ha chiludum Luhagan when le lube bugoven guni. Yage America. Home wani gunigara wa Balisi, Indura, Yagurume. Mabrigo home sungu Yage, California.
Mabruiga hon sungu be yage New York wadume aba le abaya Dimash le dan DC ora ya lidage New York. Puiti goyo.
Yeah, hey, Lamutigo, what you little Garinagu Garinagu
That's the Sea Boys.
Aba isini.
Mabruiga hon so Garinagu.
Mabriga.
Puiti goyo.